The term God is a human personification of divine equilibrium, the alpha and omega, the nucleus of the universe. Any human theory to explain the existence of God is a weak anthropomorphic attempt to define our cosmic sphere of reality from the perspective of a clever naked ape, a very limited ego-based perception of reality. God is not a person, male or female, but is better described as pure physics, dusted with a little magic. It is the physical garment that we wear being human that defines our own sexual identity. Yet spirit is androgynous, as is God. God is the symphony of all its moving parts, not limited to gender or ethnicity. The universe is composed of two polar properties of plus and negative that is balanced in a sea of neutrality or dark matter, which is evident either macroscopically or microscopically. God is an algorithm of perpetuity. We are the sine wave of perfection of that equation, the interference pattern made physical for a time. Just as it is difficult for the human brain to comprehend that there is no end to the universe, similarly, we cannot comprehend the physics of an omniscient intelligence without humanizing it. God is a bucket. We are drops of water, neither a he nor she, but a we. God is the total of collective thought and intention, a co-created consciousness of every living organism. We are all connected in a living, breathing, expanding matrix of harmonious, very real energy. God is that expanding consciousness that choreographs the reality that we experience from the synergistic coupling of collective thought in the time-space continuum in our solar system. Although written with a capital letter, God is not a proper noun, not a deity to be named and proclaimed. God is an action verb, the act of loving. Love creates consciousness. Not all solar systems have consciousness. Our solar system was created with the serendipitous perfect storm cosmology in its creation. With the Earth's beneficial distance from the Sun and combination of organics, our planet evolved with life rapidly, and soon an organic alpha consciousness was formed. This consciousness evolved into life on Earth as we know it. Small consciousness en masse creates a larger consciousness. Human consciousness created God to identify the non-ephemeral aspect of being a transient living human being. This is not to say we invented God, but we co-created a worldview of God with the qualities of our human developing consciousness. God is a divine and universal polarity, positive and negative. A creator with a plus or minus personification of our cosmology that in human terms we apply male or female morphic attributes to pure energy. We recognize love as being our greatest human attribute and apply it in human terms to a deity, when together we are the deity that is comprised of the energy of our collective love. The divine manifestation of this collective negative polarity energy is yin. This is the feminine principle represented in our physical Earth. She has been called Mother Earth, Gaia, Aya, the receiver, the nurturer, the healer, the sustainer, the procreator. She is the ovum of physical life itself. The divine manifestation of the collective positive energy is the yang. This is the masculine principle represented in our physical sun. He has been called God the Father in almost every religion in the world, monikered with a variety of names. The most accurate of these comes from your ancient Hebrew texts. I am that I am, or more definitively, I will become what I choose to become. Sadly, it has morphed into many contrary constituents that are more virulent than a virus. People's versions of God continue to mutate and dilute a basic truth that God's love is the sun. God is not your proverbial sun god, but God truly is the physical divine masculine principle in our solar system. God's stream of photons penetrates the ovum of Mother Earth and creates life. In a magical algorithm of perpetual grace, it creates life, receives life, and recycles life ad infinitum. If you look at the Earth as viewed from your International Space Station, you will see a glow, a definitive halo of light about 300 miles above the Earth. Photons of light heading to Earth get excited as they greet micromolecules of Earth organics being pulled to the sun, and energy is released, providing the etheric glow. This is like what you see with the Northern Lights phenomenon, not always visible, but still there nonetheless. With your physical human eyes, you see a halo, which is a limited two-dimensional representation of a torus of light that encircles the globe. Like an onion bag surrounding the Earth, it is a matrix of comings and goings of spirit, with many important intersections of wave fields connecting, creating, expanding, contracting, ascending and descending, creating an interference pattern for incarnation or departiculation. This celestial halo is what I call the cradle or place of grace, where spirit energies meet and greet between journeys to and from heaven and earth. A perpetual cycle of birth and rebirth with many levels for which all must be traversed, not magic or happenstance, but mere physics by design. The cradle itself is affected by the Earth's axial polarity caught in its magnetic field, with its diametric contraction and expansion at the poles. The poles, like the drawstrings of the onion bag, are being pulled at both ends, both north and south, expanding and contracting, breathing. This is the heartbeat of our Mother Earth. The North Pole is the positive charge, the South Pole, the negative charge, which creates the wormhole for creation and recreation with the flow of photon particles that flow both outward and inward. The core of the Earth is just as hot and mysterious as the sun. Souls who are bound back for Earth are drawn into its vortex for purification and return on the spoke of life as a physical incarnation. This fundamental physics created the myths of a fiery hell. Souls bound for spiritual refinement are drawn from the cradle into the similar magnetic torus field of the sun and experience the different levels of heaven that prepare for final reunification with our Father God. A trip to the sun and to the light. God is the maestro, teacher, protector, and disciplinarian. The sun is the solar principle in the yang of our creation and our redeemer. Mother Earth births our physical vehicle, is our nurturer, our healer, our nurse, sustainer, and our muse. Together they are omniscience in equilibrium. Together as one inseparable, they are the God who said, "I am that I am." Jesus, for example, proclaimed born Son of God and Son of Man. This is a perfect example of the dual nature of God in manifest. God is not man or woman, but our collective consciousness of perpetual energy that is creating our future through our unified actions or inactions. God is divine physics. God is light. There is only light. Darkness is an illusion of dark objectivity. There is no such thing as darkness, only the absence of light. There is no such thing as cold, only the absence of warmth. There is no such thing as a vacuum, only the absence of pressure. There is no such thing as hate, only the absence of love. There is no such thing as death, only the absence of physical form. All physical form is a manifestation of the divine, and those life forms with consciousness have access to the algorithms of perpetuity, procreation, and even navigation. The monarch butterfly has a brain the size of a pinhead, and yet from all over North America it navigates over 2,000 miles to Mexico every year. It is amazing and has perplexed your scientists for years and still does. The only monarch to make that incredible journey is the super monarch butterfly. Your everyday monarch only lives for a month, but this uber monarch lives for an incredible 8 months, enabling it to make the long journey to Mexico, the place of its genesis. In human terms, a supermonarch lives for over 400 years. These supermonarchs are bigger but are sterile. Their only job is to get to Mexico. Arriving in Mexico, they go dormant for several months, and magically their biology changes to awaken as very eager procreational teenagers on spring break. The eager monarchs party for weeks and then head north, laying eggs along the way. They now only have a month left of life, so it takes 3 to 4 generations of descendants to reach milkweed food sources in the north. When sunlight hours shorten considerably in late summer, The last batch of eggs produces the super monarch to repeat the cycle once again. So how does a bug with a pin-sized brain pass on navigational data and geographic destination through multiple generations? How do they fly to a place that they have never been? How does it know to find the same tree that their great-great-great-grandparents had sex in? How does an oriole build an intricate nest? How does the bee use the golden ratio to build its hive? Many other mysteries of nature that we attempt to define is our weak attempt to humanize consciousness. All consciousness, regardless of brain size or physiology, has access to cosmic innate knowledge of the universe and universal consciousness. Living organisms have subatomic receivers that are built into the strands of its DNA. This is the connection to God that we all have, creatures big and small. God is the constant, we are the variable. And whether butterfly or mammal, we all receive the same instructions from the same source that collectively we designed and evolved with. God created a perfect, unalterable pattern played out to perfection in all living procreational organic manifestations. The only snafu in the creation of human life on the planet is that we evolved with a consciousness that formed in the human brain that is capable of pride, arrogance, and doubt. Dante was correct in edifying the 7 deadly sins. They define us as human beings. Animals do not exhibit pride, envy, wrath, sloth, avarice, gluttony, or lust as we are. Fortunately, we have intellect, and we are fully capable of reducing these selfish attributes of human nature. If one can conquer the doubt of a universal connection and embrace our amalgamated intelligence, you will realize we are no different than the butterfly with a journey to make. Realizing our shortcomings is also what makes us human. Don't get in your own way. Let go, let God.